Alright, so in this video, we'll be looking at the Homin section of the dungeon. This will be much more lengthy, have much more challenges because the meat of the Homin quest is the dungeon. So first, they'll enter the Ziggurat in a manner very similar to the Allen party through a grand entrance of decorative stone carved, yada yada yada, ancient temple stuff, into a main room here. Main rooms, first rooms in dungeons, and first paths in general are extraordinarily important to get right because they will set the pace for the entire dungeon, show the player what to expect, and just they first impressions are always important. Dungeons people, it's all the same. Here, they will encounter decorative pillars, although the most of the room itself should be in a state of decay, with exceedingly large plant growths. That's going to be a theme here if you haven't noticed yet. Large plant growths. Lots of vines, reclaiming area, tunneling through cracked stone, but especially important in the corner here should be a large mass of vines, underneath which, if the party investigates, they'll find a chest full of loot. So this is important because this will show the party that there are hidden loots in this dungeon if they know where to look and if they take the time to look. There's nothing actually of like challenge in this first room though, so your party will probably go through it pretty quickly. Moving on, if they go through the door to the north, they'll enter the next room, which I'm in the process of drawing out now. The first room will have itself split into three sections. In the center will be a chasm filled with very fast running water going this way. This gap itself should be about 15 feet wide. So too wide to jump, but not too wide to construct anything across necessarily. There will be a grate here to catch any players that fall into the water. And on this side only of the chasm will be vine growths that they could use to climb back out. The exit to this room will be on the northern side. And there will be another door on the eastern side here. This leads off to a portion of the dungeon that is currently optional. Currently, that's a very important word to operate on here because this doorway here won't be an actual doorway carved into the temple structure. It'll be like a hole bored by the plants that have been growing through it, and it'll be only supported by vines, which is very important to note at this time. So to give the party a chance to cross, there will be a vine growth going from here up the wall, over the ceiling, down the wall on this side, onto the floor. So they could climb in a loop-de-loop formation if they needed to. Very difficult, but if your party is having trouble coming up with a solution for crossing the room, that'll always be there. Your party should know at this point that probably whatever treasure they're looking for will be towards the center of the dungeon, so they'll probably head north, which will lead into this next room here. This next room will have a very ornate looking doorway carved out of stone, completely blocked by plant growths that then climb up the wall over here to about 10 feet up. There should be another ledge that the vines climb up onto with another door out this way. In this room, there will be an owl bear encounter, a couple owl bears to fight. Your party will probably fight them because they're directly in your path, and anything they could use to get out of the way is across the room where the owl bears are. A few pillars and be here too.